Today we're going to take a look at the Trans-Pacific Partnership, potentially the largest trade deal in history, also known as the TPP. There are so many little points to negotiate that talks have been ongoing for 10 years. The 12 countries involved are looking to strengthen their economies by linking them together, and they're already pretty strong, accounting for a combined 40% of global GDP. If it all goes into full effect, it'll build on and supersede a network of past trade deals, like the North American Free Trade Agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Trade between nations will be boosted by eliminating many tariffs and other methods countries often use to protect domestic industries from outside competition. Examples of protected markets are beef and cars in Japan, the dairy and sugar industries in the United States, and state-owned enterprises like Chile's largest copper company and the Vietnamese telecommunications service. Along with eliminating barriers to trade, to create a fair playing field for competing businesses, all countries involved will have to meet certain negotiated standards, like environmental protections that ban trading in endangered species and illegal logging, or enhanced labor standards, like the right to form a union, the abolition of child labor, and banning workplace discrimination. Here, the Obama administration is incentivizing governments to create more responsible social policies in exchange for stronger economic ties with America and some of its closest trading partners. At home, Obama has received pushback from Democrats in Congress concerned the deal would be bad for American workers. They want guarantees the U.S. will enforce rules preventing foreign companies from flooding the U.S. market with goods and services that undercut products made in the good old U.S. of A. Another big criticism is that certain proposed patent and copyright rules in the deal could keep the cost of medicine around the world higher than it should be. Some say the North American agreement negotiated by President Clinton resulted in the loss of hundreds of thousands of American jobs. That may be true, but in the 6 years after NAFTA was enacted, the United States created 2 million jobs each year. So it seems NAFTA helped retool the US economy to produce more higher value goods and services, and that the TTP would continue this trend. And by opening new international markets to service and high-tech businesses in the United States, already a huge source of private job growth in the US economy should see even more expansion. Projections have the TPP increasing American economic output by more than $100 billion a year.
Well, the signing of the deal was announced by US Trade Representative Michael Froman a little earlier.
After more than 5 years of intensive negotiations, we have come to an agreement that will support jobs, drive sustainable growth, foster inclusive development, and promote innovation across the Asia-Pacific region. Most importantly, the agreement achieves the goal we set forth of an ambitious, comprehensive, high-standard, and balanced agreement that will benefit our nation's citizens.
The question, though, how do you specifically bring back jobs? American manufacturers, how do you make them bring the jobs back?
Well, the first thing you do is don't let the jobs leave. The companies are leaving. There are thousands of them. They're leaving, and they're leaving in bigger numbers than ever. And what you do is you say, fine, you want to go to Mexico or some other country, good luck. We wish you a lot of luck. But if you think you're going to make your air conditioners or your cars or your cookies or whatever you make and bring them into our country without a tax, you're wrong. And once you say you're going to have to tax them coming in, and our politicians never do this, because they have special interests, and the special interests want those companies to leave because in many cases they own the companies. So what I'm saying is we can stop them from leaving. We have to stop them from leaving, and that's a big, big factor. And Hillary, I just ask you this. You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
Well, actually,
I will bring back jobs. You can't bring back jobs.
Well, actually, I have thought about this quite a bit.
Yeah, for 30 years.
I have, well, not quite that long. I think my husband did a pretty good job in the 1990s. I think a lot about what worked and how we can make it work again.
Well, he approved
3 million
NAFTA.
new jobs,
He approved
a balanced
NAFTA,
budget,
which is the single worst trade deal ever approved in this country.
Incomes went up for everybody. Manufacturing jobs went up also in the 1990s, if we're actually going to look at the facts. So I know how to really work to get new jobs and to get exports that help to create more new jobs.
Very
Well, you haven't done it in 30 years or 26 years.
Well,
any number you
I've
want to
been
do.
a senator.
You
Donald,
haven't done it.
And
You haven't
I
done
have
it.
been a
And excuse
Secretary
me,
of State, and I have
your
done
husband signed
a lot.
NAFTA, which was one of the worst things that ever happened
Well,
to the
that's your
manufacturing
opinion.
industry.
That is your
You go to
opinion.
New England, you go to Ohio, Pennsylvania, you go anywhere you want, Secretary Clinton, and you will see devastation where manufacturing is down 30, 40, sometimes 50%. NAFTA is the worst trade deal maybe ever signed anywhere, but certainly ever signed in this country. And now you want to approve Trans-Pacific Partnership. You were totally in favor of it. Then you heard what I was saying, how bad it is, and you said, I can't win that debate. But you know that if you did win, you would approve that, and that will be almost as bad as NAFTA. Nothing will ever top NAFTA.
Using one of his favorite mediums for speaking directly to supporters, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump announced on Facebook his plan to withdraw from a trade deal he says would hurt the United States.
I am going to issue our notification of intent to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a potential disaster for our country. Instead, we will negotiate fair bilateral trade deals that bring jobs and industry back onto American shores.